All right, this is the April 25th, 6:35 or so p.m. legislation meeting. In attendance is myself, Councilperson McNamara. We have Councilperson Martin, Passion, Mayor Southard, Councilpersons Brandt, and President Camera. So, to begin, this section of legislation is one which was initiated when I was not sadly present due to my day job commitments. So I would love to have the chance to go over and make sure that everybody is on the same page, starting with Ordinance 08-2024. This is the codified ordinances change based on the symbols and logos of the village being loosened and allowing a little bit more discretion. Is there anything being missed there? Go ahead.
It's basically just, it's making it a little less cumbersome, the process.
Yeah, the intent was surely in the right place, but it seems as if things might have gone, the pendulum might have swung a little too far in the other direction. So hopefully this can be a good right sizing or, rebalancing for it.
And I would say, if we're ever gonna do a major change to something, we would try to get community input on something like that, so.
Yeah, that I have no doubt in my mind that we would do so. We then move on, if there's no further discussion, to Ordinance 09-2024, which is the ordinance allowing AEP the ability to transmit power through infrastructure within Minerva Park and give power in Minerva Park. This is just a second reading. I can't imagine that there will be any issues with allowing electrical power into the village. Do we have any discussion on this?
No, I think attached to it is just that old one that was enforced from 91 to, current day, and I think it elapsed, and
Beautiful.
just trying to give that stuff back, so.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, Ordinance 1024, or 10-2024, this is the one that I must have come up when I was indisposed. Is this the short-term rental?
Yes.
Specifications? Okay.
This is the second reading, right? I think we can discuss.
This is the second reading, yeah.
We can discuss, we have a work session next week, we can definitely discuss it a little more, but,
Alright, to be discussed.
unless any of you want to talk about it now. Right now, we're just in discussion.
It's pretty straightforward, right?
Right.
It's,
I wrote down a couple notes that I'd like us to discuss.
Okay.
When we discuss it. But
Alright, so I'll say that there'll be more discussion to be had at the next work session then.
Yep.
Okay. Alright, so for ordinance 11-2024, we are gonna have a motion to suspend the rules that require 3 readings, and it looks like we also intend to pass emergently, which is fine, because it appears to work with wages and salaries, which we never want to screw up. So what's a little bit of background on this? This is another one that seems to have shown up when I was indisposed.
I think the easiest way to describe this is somehow you guys on the last, I'm probably not going to explain this right. You guys passed an ordinance, let's say January, then you passed another one in June, and somehow some of the paperwork from January ended up on the June one, which needed to be this one, so we're correcting one from a long time ago.
Okay.
And the reason that we realized it and caught it is because we have some seasonal people that with increases would be lower than what they show, what the last one passed was. They actually were making more than that last year, or at the last time.
Okay, so corrections for seasonal pay.
It's corrections for seasonal pay, and then also, we're not adding any new positions.
Okay.
But the concession workers also were not accurate. So they were, like I said, we changed them, we compared the two. Do you remember when those ones were passed by any chance?
Early in the year, then something in November.
Yeah, so something didn't transfer over to the one that we passed.
Okay.
And so these were lower, but what you guys passed in November is the one that we have to use. So that superseded the higher numbers that we passed the time
Okay.
before. So
I'll
I
put
don't wanna say.
I'll put it down for correcting pay for seasonal and pool
Does that make
employees.
And somebody can go pull them and see exactly when it is, and we could even go, I might have them on my desk.
So my question is gonna be, around the swimming pool, we really don't have a lead anymore, we have an assistant manager.
Yeah, that's correct on the other sheet.
Okay.
So this is just transferring over, we're not gonna have that again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no new positions, but positions corrected.
Correct. The amounts are corrected.
Okay.
Yes, we are not having a concession lead, we are just having the assistant.
Right.
But there's no reason to take it off, because if that doesn't work, then we have to switch something around, we'll leave it on there. And at the current time, we're thinking that we will have only 3 concession workers, so they can actually get enough hours.
Okay.
If we have 4 or 5, then they're getting 8, 10 hours a week. Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, this is a fix of that, but essentially we're just fixing the maintenance workers and the swimming pool.
Wonderful. All right, now we have ordinance 12, 2024. There's no further discussion on 11, 2024. And this talks about the supplemental appropriations for the current expenses. Can we speak a touch about what those current expenses are so that I can
Potholes.
pool potholes?
There's not enough money to do the potholes right now, but it's not just the potholes. We lost some chunks out of the asphalt over one of the bridges, and now that we've painted it, we've done everything we can, but it is a complete tripping hazard, so we've got to go remove the asphalt over top
Oh,
of
that path, that little
Yes.
path,
So
okay,
that is
that
also
bridge
being
is,
done.
yeah, that bridge has
Um,
been shaky at best in my opinion, but,
And then the other is just the property tax collection fees, so there's an increase in that bill. So, and also, that goes into, that, no, I should say this, because that's, $25,000 is not the potholes and the bridge, getting that fixed. There's also nothing left in the street fund, so that's.
so
putting a
we're
little
also
bit of a
replenishing the
cushion
street fund.
in case I need to do more potholes later in the year, or if there's more engineering, if there's something else that needs done, street related, now there's extra money in there, we don't have to come back to you for that.
Okay, so do you want me to, I mean, I've got no problem announcing it's $25 or $25,000.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, okay.
No,
We need money.
yeah, it
Yeah.
needs, yeah.
We're gonna fix those potholes, right?
Yes.
Those
They're-
are like
they're in there.
fill those.
So what they're gonna do is it's $8,500, and basically they bring a big truck, or a truck, I don't know how big, I shouldn't say big. They bring a truck and they are going to drive around the village, that is definitely on the list. We did get an estimate to repair that whole street area,
About.
and
we are
that's
talking about
$120,000.
East Granville, we can afford $120,000.
Yeah, so we're gonna fill those potholes for $8,500. How do you feel about that?
But it's,
Yeah, so yes, that is being, so we did look at that. There are other ways to patch that road a little bit better, and that's something we probably should look at next year.
Yeah.
If we still aren't able to repair that road, but it's not cheap.
I'm surprised that that road is not higher up on our list of repairs.
I am too.
yeah.
Because
And
it's so
it's-
bad.
Maybe it's just because it's in the middle, but it's not good.
No.
It's not.
I'm gonna go with it's probably not, and this is probably a bad thing to say on the record, but I have a feeling it's because it's only half ours, so I'm not sure how we go, there's a way, I mean, it's gonna take some coordination between Blendon, Columbus, and us. Blendon, I think, owns this much of it.
Okay.
The majority of it on our side is ours, and then the other side is not, is what I'm understanding.
Okay.
So it's the weirdest thing, so it's gonna take some coordination
Yeah,
and,
it seems.
So here's the thing, I tried to report it
You're
on
so from
311
org.
today. According to 311, all of that is ours, so you can't even report it.
no, it shows it as ours because that's,
That's, yeah.
mhm.
So maybe you, so I was thinking like maybe I'll report it a couple of times, but you can't even do that.
No.
And even if you call,
You
and
used
it's
to be
not on
able
the
to.
map.
You used to be able to, because years ago, we did report it. And they fixed it. Columbus fixed them like 6 years ago. That was the last time Columbus fixed.
Well, I wonder, because sometimes you can call it in, but nowadays, even if you call it in and they're clicking on the wrong
They
link,
can't do it, yeah.
yeah, they can't even put a report in.
No. So yes, those are expected to be done. They were hoping to do them this week. However, we have to do legislation first. So I will call them first thing, after you guys do this tonight, I will call them first thing in the morning, and let them know they are good to go.
So next week, we can expect.
Oh, well, hopefully we can get on the schedule for next week, because I wanted to do it this week.
Okay,
But
but that's our plan is like.
My plan is ASAP. They will know that they can come do them tomorrow if they want.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah.
I'm gonna
So,
assume the answer's no, but
that's funny. So, we now have resolution 2024-09, and this is the third reading. This talks about the dishonesty and faithful performance of duty policy and applying that policy to the village's fiscal officer and assistant fiscal officer. And this is the, like I said, the third reading. Any questions on that?
No questions, I talked to,
Jeff,
Jeff will check about it. It's really not an agreement to purchase said policy, but it's with the PEP, which is kind of a subset of the how municipal need. And we already have some insurance, but he's under the impression that it's probably not, it could be not sufficient, and that would leave us exposed, if they happen to make a mistake or something bad happen, and it's best to protect the village from that.
Oh, absolutely. And then lastly, we have resolution 2024-11. This is to amend the rules of council and calendar as was approved in resolution 2024-01 and declare an emergency. So this would be the way we change our meetings, if my understanding is correct. Council President Camera, am I thinking about the same thing?
Yes.
Beautiful.
and then I just have one little comment on this, because somebody way smarter than me thought about this. Do we in fact have to go and change the rules of council to try this out for a month or two? Since we are calling them just work sessions, and technically we don't have to have committee meetings every month. Just if we go through 2 months and it doesn't really work out and people aren't seeing, like, these meetings are taking 3 hours or we're not getting stuff done, do we really want to change the rules of council? And you guys can talk about it at the next work session, whether or not we should actually just table this for a month or two and then say, okay, this works, let's go ahead and change the rules before we change the rules and then go back and change it.
Right.
And we can thank Barb.
I'll make a motion to table it then.
So, but I mean, and we don't, again, we can read it tonight and then you guys may decide.
Okay.
Maybe we read it and table it on the third reading,
Yeah.
so that
Okay.
we don't have to read it 2 more times
Right.
after we.
Good. Sounds good. All right, so do we have anything else we need to discuss? It looks like we are through the legislation for this evening. If there is any old business, is there any new business, just legislation-wise? In that case, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we are adjourned.
Well, hello.